welcome back to First Class Airsoft here. Today we're doing the review of the Army R28 Kimber 1911 Desert Warrior. This is a clone of the Tokyo Marui KGW 1911, based off the MEU in a sense. Only difference between the MEU and this one is the Picatinny rail. We'll start from the beginning and work our way to the end of the pros and cons, okay? The pros of this, it's a nice heavy weight metal. It's a solid pot metal material. The gun itself is full metal safety. It is the more modernized version of the 1911 with the guide rod sticking out. However, something different I've noticed that this has that most other 1911s do not have is the ability to remove this guide rod, which is part of this disassembly process. But when you remove this guide rod, it still can function. So pretty much you just turn it into old school or standard 1911 MEU with the rail frame. I'm gonna put this back just because we're gonna need it for later anyways. First off, I mean, this is a really well-built pistol, decently well-built. Downside I would have to say is that if you can see really closely, all these scratch marks, I guess you can say, on the rail system. And the reason behind this is because the rail lower is strangely about like a millimeter to half a millimeter too wide to fit standard 1913 tack lights, lasers, but it can fit 20 millimeter rail mounts. So if you had a flashlight mounted, you know, like your 100 lumen flashlight mounted right here onto a mount, you can actually clamp that on here. The second thing I kind of dislike about this is the tone on the top and the lower are not the same. As you can even see, even in the bright lighting, that the top one is darker than the lower, and that even though it's not that bad or not that noticeable in person, it's not my favorite 10. I think I wish it would be even darker. One plus I really like about this, obviously, is the reason why most people buy it is the Kimber logo. If this focuses, it's the Kimber trademark. Right, and it's correct on this side, well, mostly correct. I'm not gonna point out for copyright reasons, but it also has the correct bolt, the 45 ACP, Warrior, and the Yonkers, Kimber Yonkers, New York, USA. Pistol features these really kind of weird but nice mock night sights. 3-dot sight, but with a green tint, as you can see in the camera, and you know they pop out really well in person as well. Right. The slide catch, or the slide, locks to the rear, exposing this or your mag well, and going to your mag. It is a Tokyo Marui / KGW compatible 1911 25 round green gas magazine. Keep in mind though, because of the slim profile of these green gas that's supposed to mock the I guess the WeTech 1911s, you're not going to be able to feed all 28 rounds unless it's a really hot day and the gas is expanded really well inside this canister or into the magazine, which you loaded from the bottom. But other than that, you know, a high capacity magazine, top off with some gas in the middle of a game, and you're good to go for quite some time. Putting this back in here has a really nice satisfying clang to it. You can hear it. Right, and as far as I know, the gun itself is, I wouldn't say 99% compatible with Tokyo Marui and KGW. The barrel, the inner workings, the springs and such. The only difference that might be different is the blowback housing, which right here, instead of a bolt or a screw, is like a push pin. which is a little strange, but all nozzles that are made to fit the 1911 on the KGW or the Tokyo Marines will definitely fit on this. Another downside is the safety. Mine came with a little funky safety where the left side works normal and it moves the right, but when you move the right side, it refuses to move. So I had to improvise with a little, I guess, toothpick. And I stuck them in between, and now it sticks well. You know, the grip safety functions. Keep in mind also the safety only works when the hammer is back, because if it's forward, you cannot, for some reason, you cannot push up the safety. But if it's slightly half back, like around here, one second. Oh wait, okay, that's right. There we go. Where this hammer is slightly receded back, that's when you can put up safety. But for the most traditional way, it's the cock and lock method. With the skeletonized trigger and hammer, makes it light very fast. What else do I have to say about this? For the price range of this pistol, I can see prices vary from the camera. From all the way from $65 up to about $110, but that is $65 with shipping or $110 and free shipping. So, you know, it's the marketing technique of doing it. But I mean, for a $65, maybe $80 total pistol, for a beginner, this is not bad. This is actually, it performs really well. And I'm going to be doing the chrono test in a bit to demonstrate the FPS. And to keep in mind, this is not 100% like the real thing. If you watch Le Crook's workshop videos, he points out a lot of these differences between the MEU and the actual 1911 Kimber pistols. But for the price range of less than $100, depending where you get it, it's a very good pistol, honestly. Although I do prefer the black one, just because the black one, unlike this tan one, has a retention strap down here instead of a flared magwell. And it comes with a lot of, strangely enough, it comes with a lot of spare parts, like spare nozzle, spare O-rings for almost everything in this gun. And it made me, I was a little bit suspicious, but I was kind of happy they threw that in just to see how it works, or see that, you know, in case anything breaks down, you can replace it. The magazine lips on these, like many companies except for KSC and Tokyo and KWA, are plastic feet lips. This does not feature a locking mechanism when you pull down the spring, so they include a tool that help you hold it down, and then you can load the BBs from up here. Or actually no, I've seen people load it where this spring is all the way down, and they would load it from this wider port right here. But it'd be nice to see companies besides KWA and KSC adopting the locking feed spring. But anyways, we'll move to the chrono test and see. We'll be performing the chrono test with P-Force 0.02 gram BBs. The room temperature is about 76 degrees, so let's get it going. Alright, so as you saw in the chrono testing, this chrono is in between 300 to 330 FPS. Now I think this is a great CQB pistol. It is a great starter pistol for under $100. It's upgradable to an extent, except for the blowback housing. But besides that, everything else seems to be perfect. Seems to be great. Not perfect. 7 out of 10 for performance, given the gas consumption of these magazines. Well, I can't blame them. The design is just made for the 15 rounders, for the WeTech 15 rounder 1911s. For exterior build, I give it a good 8 out of 10. I give it an 8 because the biggest downside for me is the lack of the 1913 rails. I mean, I would like to have a tack light or a laser on my pistol, but I don't want to be using a giant flashlight mount to do so, or a 20mm mount to do so. As always, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe to my videos. This is First Class Airsoft signing out. Codename Echo.